How are you? Good. Nice to see you. How are you? Good.
Hello everyone. Before we start the program, we would like to give a special gift to our two special guests, Phil, Typhoon, and Aman. This gift is a zodiac that is part of our traditional costume. We give it to you as a gratitude for celebrating and being part of our Seoul Koro Point every year. By giving you this, it signifies that you are with us now. So please accept the gift.
Tomorrow assistant masaki, tomorrow assistant ma power menu, tomorrow assistant time, again Punjabi chumare, apa assistant sama pari tegi cuma sebagai ya, akan na bukan na ini na, tajam ini, kita na cuma relax atau tajam ini national layo, New Zealand na, tajam ini, zohang no deh tiket kai, tajam ini NZC President Wai, pemimpin tiga na. ตอนจริงแล้วขายในวินราคาในสัตว์ดีงาตอนจริงแล้วละมินโซตังทูต้มกิมินเกี่ยนนาเอเนดีดีเอดีไปมารอบยังมาอาซิสเซนเชียมารอบยังมากูงานนี้อากาศตะบุเนตชอบไปมาสบายเชื่อตอนจริงแล้วฟิลไตโฟดีแล้วเมนคูนเอเกนดีตอนจริงแล้วราคาดีงาตอนจริงแล้วเนโพลิสตอนจริงแล้วโซยูโกลาเนี่ย Pajang ile aban mengkun ya na hiringa usum la hiringa kahin le kachin na kizom la hiringa pajang le nulam le litung sopre la hiringa pajang le zomi ko la ahishile la hiringa pajang le khangau de e ma zong namaste achi pa la hiringa khai la sa na do pajang le NZC community bi ba bi de ile na ko ya khum la ni bi de ni
Good morning, everyone. We're finally going to start our program since we have our special guests here. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you all to 2019 Seoul Koro Boy or Seoul Harvest Festival. This is the 5th annual Harvest Festival that is celebrated in New Zealand in Auckland. First of all, on behalf of New Zealand Seoul community, I would like to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend our Seoul Koro Boy. Special thanks to our special guests here, the Honorable Phil Typhoon. Can you please give a hand, Phil? I'm sure we are all familiar with Phil. Phil is a member of the Parliament and he is the Labour Party for the MP for the Te Atatu. Our second special guest is Aban, the General Manager of ARCC. Please give a warm welcome to Aban. These two special guests have been supporting Seoul community since day one. We are really blessed and to have such honorable people to give us guidance and motivation, especially to our younger generations. In case of any emergencies, there are two exit doors. The first exit is there, and the second exit is there. And if you have any, if you need any help with any guidance or anything, you can ask any of the youth down there at the back. And the toilet is at the back. You just have to use the second exit door to access there. The program is divided into two. The first part of the program will be performances from all communities and different types of performances from people. And the second part of the program will be food. Please, I invite all of you to stay for the food. And I guarantee you it will be the highlight of the festival. It is free too, so please enjoy. Before we begin the program, I would like to invite Reverend Tanglo for an opening prayer.
Reverend Tanglo, stay to my honey. A person don't be motivation.
Nunca cabelo com paciente. Lei do mesmo de lá que pan kau pa ikut minggu dia mesem na dia paling bulan ni dia ban ni kitropia. Aje dia itu ni kami New Zealand kam okalen kopi sunga zo community angabe na zo korong koi te hizongin. Lam na te hizong ngai na lam na te hizongin. To pa naman turiin bunbit te ni dia ciram tu damin azam tegi in hun pa ni dia man lum damin happy na te kang pat masao hi to pa turi kabai ken to na ma kunga kana bu hi to ni lam na ding te yong forget na ding te hi zongin tai ta mun to pa na ang pe na ta te lam na te hi zongin tabi lam na te ang khan le khat to pa or kam ni te khan le khat eat na pe sem khang le khat eat na sem fe de dingin tabi poi te mo na hilowa to pa naman na golzon na tupa to nang to ring nang ma khut sem to sa kang en hi turi ko hunte ong naman tupa ni pi man lung dam bung ka hunte wa pat na alai yang atop na dong poi na no kai no khana om lowa nang ma nei golzo pi dingin ka to ba Jesus Christ bin so nang ma khut sem to sunga ka hunte pe ka nga pu hi to ba se no amen.
Culture dance called program. This culture dance is performed to celebrate victory over hunting.
To le kanu te to panin phe te khai e ba ya la poi kon na hi nga ji ka le ha solution phe tomorrow yo ya ka wo no ai no ha lu chi ka ra phe me lo tomorrow lu nge ri ko tomorrow lesson kan pe ya phe ba le lo ku tomorrow lu nge ri ko yo ya ka ko phe ko chi na tomorrow le ko ni ne a pe ja ba shin
also traditional dance, so youth, and our cultural leader who has provided them with good practice and guidance. Thank you to him.
Assistant Nana, NZS President Paile, Top Kilona Tonale, again, who celebrates tomorrow, NZS Ogatagami, Making Tota Cookie Correction.
Up next, we will have a short speech by our President Patrick Ma. Please give him a warm welcome.
Good morning. Minglama. Namaste. Yara. Nandamwema everyone for my first and foremost duty. On behalf of New Zealand Zoo community, thank you all for coming and support our Zoo community. And we welcome all of you to be here. We are honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Pierre Taifo, who is the Minister of Housing, Transportation and Urban Development. He makes lots of better New Zealand transportation, urban development and housing plans. It is very important for us. So please give a big hand to Pierre Taifo. We also like to thank the LCC Manager Aban, the LCC Coordinator Kalua, Nepalese Cultural Center New Zealand, Myanmar Gongzi Organization, New Zealand Korean Association, Kachin Community, Karani Community, Zomin Kwan Community, and friends and family who are here to celebrate with us Zokhropoi. Thank you all for your support and taking the time out of the busy schedule to attend with our Zokhropoi. Zokhropoi is an annual harvest festival celebrated every year, not just in New Zealand, but all around the world where there is no people. Zokhropoi is celebrated. By celebrating Zokhropoi, it helps us remember who we are and keep our culture alive, such as our language and traditional dance and songs. As refugee immigrants living in different countries, it is very important to keep our culture for our younger generation. So I hope you will enjoy it. Hello, Minglaba. Colomio Jonado, Zozuza, Poema, Pawalade. In a change, Alopisi, community Titi Malado, Eteromia Pisi, Alongo, Tioten, Jogo, Yanis of community Gosa, Yorubade. Jonado, Zozuza, Poisura, Kauti, Kauti, I think Poema, Jonado, Jempa, you must know English, you must know Thanksgiving. Jonado, Nia, Titi, Nia, Dima, Diniti Chema, Jonado, Jempa, Pepade. You must know English, you must know Thanksgiving. Jonado, Piapo, Jonado, Saitado, Ayadi, Didi Chema, Jating Pido, Children, and Chinkipade. Job, Colomio, Jonado, your Lepoema, Jonado, Neatu, Yosuan Bide community, the Alongo, Children. Job, the Jonado, the Lu, Zozuza, Point of Putem Hogan, Jonado, community, a Titima, Jemparo, Way, Alogole, Jonado, the community, our people there, Jonado, who's the community mother, Sendesi, yes, Yellow. A John Jonado, Lame and Agama, Jonado, Mimapi, Gadi, Jonado, the Tiana, who is Yaudo, Jonado. Community, Aditi, Ubama, the community support people and Wabana. Babylon is not in Nangani, Yala Pido, the young lady, Mati, the Lula, Yasiva, John, Jonado, the Joe community, Uso, move the Kutem over, Jonado, Myanmar Rangan Low, Jonado, Romeo, Aditi, Jonado, Lame and Agama, ပွဲဒီပါနေကျင်းပဖို့လည်းကျွန်တော်တို့စီစဉ်ရှိပါတယ်เนาะဒီမှာကိုယ်စားအဆုံးဇာဆောလည်းเนาะကိုစီစဉ်ထားတာရှိပါတယ်အဲပွဲဒီကြီးတဲ့ခါမှာလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့ community အပြည့်အစုံနဲ့ support ပေးဖို့လိုအပ်ပါတယ်အကြောင်းကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီလိုမျိုးဒီနေ့ဒီချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့လည်းအတူဝန်မြဝန်တာပြီးတဲ့ဒီမှာ community အားလုံးငွေချင်းအားလုံးစီစဉ်ကြောင်းကျွန်တော်ထပ်ပြီးတော့ပြောပါတယ်ဒီနေ့ကျွန်တော်ဇော်ရောយ៉ាងပေရာဇို community အမင်းတန်ပါဘောပန်တော့ဒီမှာခတ်ချက်တရာနာပေချေပန်နာပိတန်ဒုဒမကုလုံးစာရင်းဇော်ရောပတ်န်ထေမာဘာအေးအတင်းကနုံတမ်နီဟိမာဘာဒိုနီဒုံကနာနုံတမ်ဒီအမလောဒီတချေပမီကံထုံနာဟိုတုချေငါအငိုင်းနာအလမ်တေဟမ်တေအိမာလေအိမာသင်စီလေတမ်ကံပေနာina pangte in pangchi ja mang kam pe tam zo sang hi chenga mai na muna ila ngai na te zo oi ta chu pi sa ding te je ding sam ma ma mi pong han pen ngai na na ti pe la pen o le pe ta ji ko kha pen pangchi de pasien ki thei sa ji ai pasien kha me kha ang pho chenga o pangchi de ngai na te pe tu se lo ji ba te ya nga ngai na chi te pe mi pi ten oi ta kek ching ma ba ai te zo oi ta tu ching di sam sa hi ba che tu ni un te zo kon chi te ka so sa lo sia ta hi che la a gen di te zo ben te ken ba hi tu ni ken ta ko nga ai ya ma kha che da si to ba che hun be ya be zo community ma kha che te zo na community zo si hi zo nang pe da na bi dan dum dam ko lo ning ba che tu ni pen hun pen na ngai na lam te ama sa mi di nga ani na wang ji de ya di nga pi ma ma an le na ni ai ya ta min cheng jong hoi ta izin te ta ma te sa sa theng ya hoi ta izin ko na khat ko bo ri se ti ta ma te hoi ta ya le don li ta to sa sa theng ta bi ta che le ta community bi bi ndo nang thei sam sa hi ta mi hin tu ni ta iso community tanga akim aboy ibe pila akim aboy ya kami aman ba ne lungdam ko la bang akim aboy imo khatchet ko zo community ko sa lungdam ko yung ya kami hin napi tu lungdam ne la tuan
lungdam ko na ai ken bi zo makai zo enter the community makai ta ma lungdam ko hitu le amana khai tung panin le la khat ni hi yo lai na la khat hi de hi ama ben New Zealand so new GII khai lo ကျမတို့တချင်ဆိုဘောစင်လေးပေါ်တော့ဖိတ်ခေါ်လိုရတယ်ကျမတို့ခေါ်ပြီးတော့ဒီမှာကြိုဆိုရအောင် So
Thank you for the short thing from our NZCC president. And now we will have a very special item from our very own soul singer and composer. Please give another warm of applause.
ချင်းဆုံးတော့တယ်တချင်းကြီးကလည်းသူဟုတ်တယ်ဒါနဲ့လူပြမဟုတ်တော့ဘူးအခုဆက်လက်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ဇုံလို့ရဇုံအကြောင်းဇုံ story ကိုဇုံသမိုင်း
We have the history of Zo people and their culture. This will be presented by Nam. Can we please give her one more?
I'm coming to New Zealand after answering to many people that my nationality is Zo. Not many, if not all, know what that is. So today I would like to provide you all with a brief history of my people and our culture. Starting off, in the early history of the Zo people is obscured and extremely difficult to verify due to the absence of the written record. It's only in the early 20th century that they began to read and write. The absence of the written record, however, did not necessarily preclude the emergence of a critical history of the Zo people. Events within families and or tribes at large were handed down from generation to generation through oral tradition, folk tales, and traditional songs. It is believed that Zo people belong to the Tibeto-Burman ethnic group of Mongolia, having migrated from Mongolia down to China, then onto the Tibet and upper Chinwe River in northern Myanmar, where the Kachin people live today. According to oral tradition, the progenitors of Zo and Kachin people, also known as Zingpo, were siblings. In search of greener pastures, Zingpo's big brother Zo and his clan continued the migration down to lower Chinwe River and eventually settled in the present-day Myanmar, particularly in the Chin state. Due to tribal wars, some migrated to eastern India later on. Zo people are one of 135 legally recognized ethnic groups under the umbrella of ethnic Chin, which is one of the 8 major ethnic groups in Myanmar. Zo people have been using the name of their progenitor, Zo, to bear on their land, cultural, animal, households, utilities, and almost anything of importance to their daily lives, in order to preserve their distinct racial name. So for example, Zogam meaning Zo land, Zo Ngaina meaning Zo culture, Zo Guan, Zo attire, Zo Zoo, Zo wine, Zo me, Zo people, and so on. And the list goes on. This has been the practice for generations until today. Zo people have many traditional custom values and celebrations. And Zo Kodopoi is the most significant celebration of them all. Zo people have 2 Kodopoi. The first Kodopoi is celebrated in April. This is called Lopoi Kodopoi. This is like a new year for Zo people, a new beginning this time. At this time of the month, it is used to give sacrifices to the gods and to ask for blessings for crops so that it bears good fruits. The second Kodopoi is celebrated in October, which we are celebrating now. This is called NUA Kodopoi, meaning Harvest Festival. This festival is celebrated to give thanks to the gods for blessing the crops and bearing them with good fruits that will last them for a whole nother year. This is very important as for the sake of surviving. The diaspora of Zo people from Myanmar started in the last 2 decades under the dictatorship of the military junta. Many of them fled to India, Thailand, and Malaysia to escape political and religious persecutions. Some of them have been resettled in 3rd countries, including New Zealand. Zo people cherish their tradition and culture, and Zo Culture Show is a way of preserving their unique identity, even as they integrate to New Zealand community at large, which we celebrate annually up until now with pride. And now a little insight on our life as Zo people back in Myanmar. As I've said before, Zo people live in Chin State, which is located on the northwest of Burma. The western side of Myanmar is not like others, as it is basically just mountains upon mountains. In saying so, I think it is safe to say that we are mountain people. Within Chin State, there are many uncountable villages that Zo people populate in. However, there is a town called Tonzang, as seen on screen, which is mostly overpopulated by Zo people, as it is founded to be at the center of all the many Zo villages there is. This village is called Puitong. Many of the villages that surround Tonzang, about 6 miles away from Tonzang, where 18 years ago my mother gave birth to me at this very village. Now, I personally don't remember much, but transport back in the days, from what I've heard, was extremely difficult. But thanks to technology, transports have become much easier, still difficult, but better than before. Next is a picture of a farm. Farming for us was a must back in our villages. This is where we get our main source of food from. So it was necessary that each family had a farm of their own. All farm places were away from villages. This meant that people had to travel at least 2 hours to get to their farm on a daily basis. These are just a couple of pictures that show how women carried stuff from their farms to homes, mainly fireworks. Corn was still and now one of the type of food that nearly everyone plants on their farm. When women were out at farms doing crops, most men would go out in groups and go hunting, since early till night, even days. When men succeeded in catching and slaughtering rare animals that were hard to conquer, such as tiger, elephant, and any other big wild animals, they would come back home and celebrate together with the whole village. Now, this is how the tradition of Zo first came about, where people gather around villages and neighboring villages around a campfire and dance around the campfire. With the dance celebrations, instruments were a must and had to be played, or else it was just meaningless dancing. This made the instruments become part of our Zo culture, as seen before when we danced with the Zo youth, the whistles, yeah. This made another significant important thing that Zo people do with their celebration was drink Zo Zu, meaning Zo wine. This is a specific type of wine made from corn or rice starch, diluted in water and stored for a long time, ranging from months and even years. They also say that the longer stored, the sweeter it is. This is a picture of a milestone. On which our ancestors have drawn their biggest achievements, as they did not have any form of writing yet at the time, which we really do admire and cherish till today. Thank you all for listening. If interested in finding more about the cultures and ways of the Zo people, I encourage you to visit our websites or just feel free to ask any one of us. I hope this brief introduction helps you get to know and understand more of us as Zo people. Enjoy the rest of the show, which I know will be full of joyful and delightful. Thank you, guys.
Min tên tân tìm đi ngãi không min tên tân tìm đi ngãi yên tí làm tung ngãi nung đập mà hi dầu cái mang cái yên lâu na bé ấy mà hồi lẽ dầu tăng thú dầu ngay ná thì tao lọt coi chỉ là có mà có đẹp cái yên thì đúng không? Lúc lẽ có community ban Myanmar community Myanmar GII organization là này biro cho mà rồi Myanmar cái này thuộc về bên này chính là gì?
What an insightful and eye-opening speech it is. I hope each of you learned something about Zo people and its culture. Once again, thank you to Lam. And now we will have an item from Myanmar GII organization. Please welcome them. What an amazing performance it is. Wasn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Let's start with a short speech from one of our special guests. We are very fortunate to even have him here today. Let us welcome the Honorable Phil Tyson.
Welcome, and I'm so happy to be back here in Te Atu at the 5th annual Quoto Paui for the Zo community. I want to give a big hand to all of the organisers of today's event and the amazing performances that we've seen already. Let's give them a big hand. Special to you to start with. So, President Patrick, thank you for your leadership. Reverend Tung No, Aban, it's nice to see you again. I see you here every year. You and I are the true believers of the Quoto Paui. I also want to recognise Mr. Kamal Prasad Shrestha from the Nepali community. All of the church and community leaders who are here today. The mums and the dads, the young people and the children. It's my pleasure to be here on behalf of the Prime Minister and to be representing the Government of New Zealand at this very special day for the Zo. And it's a great honour for me to be here as your special guest, so thank you so much. I want to say just a couple of things about the Quoto Paui. The first is that I think it's special that this celebration of Zo culture and Zo identity is part of the tradition of the Harvest Festival. And while it might seem a long way from the mountains of Burma, and while it might seem a long time since your parents, your grandparents lived in those mountainous villages, at this time of year, celebrating the harvest and giving thanks for the bounty of the land and the produce produced by the hard work. Actually, we can still give thanks today, and there's so much to be thankful for right here. You know, we live in a country that's peaceful, that has a stable democracy. It's free, or relatively free, I should say, from corruption. We have this amazing natural environment here in New Zealand where the air is clean, you can swim in the sea, you can go down to the harbour and catch fish, you can walk in the mountains, the water is clean out of the tap, and we live in a country that's committed to the idea of fairness and opportunity, that if people work hard they can get ahead. And I think that's something special, something we should give thanks for. The other thing I wanted to say to you today is that this celebration, this annual event that you organise and put on so beautifully, it's a celebration of identity. And Lam, wherever you are, that was a fantastic presentation of the Zoe story. And it's great to be reminded of that. But you're a small community, small but perfectly formed. And I want to urge you to hold on to the traditions and the customs of your people, the culture of your ancestors, your faith. Because we know that growing up in this society today, children who know where they came from, who their people were, the land that their ancestors walked on, those children grow up to be confident and proud, and they can walk through the world knowing who they are, secure in their identity, and that makes them powerful. And I want to say to the parents who are here today, I know that many of the Zoe community came to New Zealand as refugees and earlier fled violence and civil disorder and political and religious persecution, and spent time living in refugee camps in Thailand and India. And I want to say I know how hard it is when people come to this country from somewhere else and English is not the first language. Sometimes it's hard to get a job with the skills that you have. It's hard to break into the employment market. It's hard to be a migrant and to come to a new country. But the migrant story and the refugee story is that your children thrive. They grow up as Zoe Kiwis. They grow up with the language. They understand the culture, and they move freely and happily in our society and can get on through their talents and their hard work and build successful lives. And for you parents there, that should be something of immense pride. And you know, I've been coming for 5 years to this event now, and I feel like I've seen a lot of the young people grow up in that 5 years. And you are raising a generation of wonderful, articulate, confident, proud young people. And you should be very proud of that. So hold on to the Zoe culture, the identity, the customs. Celebrate them as we are today. Speak the language at home. Speak the language, speak your mother tongue to your kids and your grandchildren at home. That is so important, because in doing that you hand on to them a precious cultural treasure. So thank you again for having me along as your guest. It's a real honour for me to be here. I look forward to this event. And warmest greetings and congratulations from the Government of New Zealand to the Zoe community. Thank you.
For speech days, I hope we all know our own identity. I'm sure that Phil has mentioned how important it is to know and understand our own identity. Thank you, Phil, once again for everything. Just as you mentioned, you and Abancho are the true believers. That is why we are very blessed to have such honorable people to give support to our community. Can we give another round of applause? The next item will be from another one of our very own Zoe singer. Madom. Let us put our hands together for It is an original song and it hasn't even been released yet. What a lucky audience you guys are. Can you imagine how awesome the album will be when it will be released? Please give another round of applause to Mando. Now, the next performance will be from the Nepalese Cultural Centre, New Zealand.
tu le ne pa te nei na la do hu ni na pa ko ni ti ga ni bi ro lu ya ne tin se pe na preparation le ko ti ro chu so ya aung
Beautiful young lady. I'm sure it made us all want to dance along with her, right? Yeah. Can we please give another round of applause to her? The next performance will be by So You. Let us put together our hands to welcome the So You. Did you guys enjoy that? Next up will be a short speech by General Manager of ARCC Aban. Can we please give a warm welcome?
Kia ora. And warm greeting to you all. It's my honor to be here with you today. And before I start to highlight the importance about today's event with Zoo community, I would just to remind you we are in the Labor Day today. And it's very important day for all workers all over the world. And especially Zoo community. We are celebrating with you today many centuries the culture which has been maintained by your own ancestors. I would like to share with you today one of the important part of you being a zoo in your presence in New Zealand. As a forced migrant, many of us, you and I, did not choose to be in New Zealand. But what we say, thank you to New Zealand government that allowed us to be in this country. What does that mean? We understand our sufferings before arriving to New Zealand. And we arrive in New Zealand, sometimes it's not easy to adopt a new culture. But it's better than before. From ARCC point of view, it's important for us to acknowledge the opportunity of Terroir New Zealand has given to us. We are New Zealanders. The times we touch down in Auckland Airport, you are permanent residents. What does that mean? It's giving you opportunity, you like anyone in New Zealand. Some of us, after 5 years or 3 years, we become a citizen of this country. that means we have responsibility too with our community, too with our children, too with our new home, which is New Zealand. Further, I would like to acknowledge our Honorable Phil Taggart. As he mentioned before in his speech, every year we find ourselves we are a special guest. But I need to inform to you, we become part of your family. We are part of you. We are not special. We are special to you, but what we see ourselves, we are part of you. It's a representative of your electorate. At the same time, it's our minister for the housing and transport. See how lucky you are to have him among you? We are in the central, or we are in the South Auckland, we can't see someone important in our community always to associate with us. But this is a bonus for you, Zoe community. You should be proud of yourself. Having someone really have a portfolio within our country who always associate with you. That's a big, big, big honor for all of us. Please can we give a big applause for our, first of all, our MP, our second of all, our minister. I would like to highlight the speech of Lam. His speech historically touched me and referred me back where I come from. It's really very important. And the similarity of our journey, being forced migrant, no different whatsoever. It doesn't matter where you come from, but it matters how we make it in New Zealand here. Because this is our new home. You and I, we have responsibility in New Zealand. Fathers, mothers, young people, elders, please take this opportunity to explore what New Zealand has given us. Take the opportunity to develop the new moving forward era with your own children. Hearing that before the history of Zulu or Zulu people never been written. And now, hearing one of your daughters saying that story is a remarkable. I admire you. If you need a help to write Zulu story, AICC will be behind you. And I will be the first person to help you how to sit down as a young people with your elders to write the story of the journey they made to New Zealand, the stories of your own sisters. This is the richness of your culture. And I hope if it's that what you need to do for your community, I think next year you will be able to celebrate your festival with the first launch of your historical background book. If that's priority for your community. And I am here to support you to make sure that can happen. Another thing, every year when we come here, we see something new. And especially about the young people. The more talented young people of Zulu people, we're really proud of you. And you are example to other ethnic community which is under AICC. You're not assimilated to New Zealand society. You are integrated to New Zealand society, and this is what I see every year. And congratulations to you all, and especially the leaders of your community and the leaders of young people by coming together and celebrate your culture. Your culture, it become my culture. Your culture, it become a culture of everyone who I guess who are with you today. Without further ado, I would like to tell you that it's important when people come together and then take this opportunity for many of you to make a difference in your community. It's easy sometimes to say other people, there might be a problem for me. But let us start as a community to develop ourselves. There's a lot of opportunity New Zealand has given us. I am proud being South Sudanese New Zealander because of the opportunity I have. Let's take this opportunity. Young people, mothers, elders, let's come together and do what is necessary for our own young children, which is their balanced culture of New Zealand and culture of where we're coming from. And I wish you a very happy Festival Day to you all as a Zoo community. Thank you so much, and my God bless you.
Thank you, Aban, for such an eye-opening short speech, reminding us all that our past does not define who we are. And at the very moment we arrive in New Zealand, we are starting a new life and a new beginning. We must acknowledge and accept and find the perseverance to start a new life, a better life here in New Zealand. And make sure to take every opportunity that comes in your way. Can we please give another round of applause to Aban?
community ကတော့ခရင် community ကဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်အစဉ်ဖြစ်လို့ရှိရင်စင်ပေါ်တော့ဖိတ်ခေါ်ပါတယ်
That was an amazing performance. Thank you, Robert. Now, I'm sure at the beginning of the, before he said, Robert mentioned to sing along with him. And I was just checking everyone here, and I didn't see any mouth moving. So, be prepared for the punishment from Robert. Now, up next, the next performance will be from the Korean Association. Please give a warm welcome to them.
community ကိုအထူးကျေးဇူးတင်ရှိတောင်းတော့ကြလိုပါတယ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်မခုနဒီအစီအစဉ်ကအစီအစဉ်တိုင်းဖြစ်မလာတာကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီတစ်ချင်းကိုကြားညက်ပြီးတော့လုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာအစီအစဉ်ကခုနက cancel လုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြန်ပြီးတော့အသစ်တက်လုပ်ရချင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီအစီအစဉ်တိုင်းမှာလာတော့အားလုံးကိုပြကြရခံချင်ပါတယ်လို့အခုဆက်လက်ပြီးတော့အချင်း community ကနေအစီအစဉ်ပြင်ဆင်ပေါ်လို့ခေါ်ရဲ
Wow, that was indeed very cute and adorable. Thank you, the New Zealand Korean Association. The next performance will be by a very special group. This is their first performance at Seoul Port. Please give them a warm welcome.
community ကိုအထူးပဲကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ကျမတို့နောက်နေ့ကြလို့ရှိရင်လည်းပြန်ပြီးတော့ပါဝင်ပေးဖို့ဒီကနေပဲဖိတ်ခေါ်ချင်ပါတယ်ရှင်သူလည်းအခုနောက်ဆုံးတွဲကတော့ကျမတို့ခုနကချင်းဆုံးတွဲเนาะအခုကျမတို့ဆုံးတွဲမြင်ရတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ရှင်လင်သူလည်းသူတို့ကိုဖိတ်ခေါ်ပါတယ်
Did we enjoy that?
Yeah.
Next year they're going to be better, I heard. So the next item will be. duet that is. Did we enjoy it?
Yeah.
Can we please give them another round of applause? The next performance will be from Zoe.
လူငယ်တွေကထပ်ပေါ်ကနေတော့ဒီတစ်စက်ပြမဲ့ချင်းပြပါရရှင်အစီအစဉ်ကအခုပဲကြာမှာတော့လေပြီးရင်ဒီနေ့စားဖို့အချိန်ဖြစ်ပါမယ်ရှင်အားလုံးဆက်ရှိလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်မျိုးထိုင်ပြီးတော့အပြည့်ပြည့်တဲ့ကျေးဇူးများတင်ကြောင်းပြောကြလိုပါတယ်ခံလို့တဲ့ဆိုခံလို့တဲ့ဝေကြီးနဲ့ဟိုလေစင်လာကတော့တော့
Dunia
Ini tu leh, mana khai tu panen, lalu khai lagi lah.
Wow, 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 so kind. Beautiful song. In case you didn't know, it is his very own original song. Can we please give him another round of applause?
ကိုဆောင်ထားတဲ့ဟွာရုပ်လေးကျွန်မအကျော်မနမ်နိုအတော်လမ်နိုစီစဉ်ပေးတာဖြစ်ပါလေရှင်မိပုံလိုမျိုးမြင်အောင်ပေးပါလို့သူမိသားနေနမှုပြေဖို့ရောတမီးပဲဒီလမဒီသားကျဲကခွေတော့ကျဲကအာလူပြပါမိတဲ့လက်သူမိကေအော်လေရောသူမိကြီးမှာတမနာကြလာမြည်ကြီးခံလို့တဲ့နောက်မှပဲဆုံးထင်းနေကအလိမလာအကြီးပေါ်လေရော
hai bácจะเท่าล่ะครับเลย
nào bông thế tôi nhìn thấy lý nào sông là con sông đó nào sông là con sông một lần cho mà quên thấy cái này nên tôi đâu nào sông mà cho bạn
Thank you, Zo community, for the traditional dance. And now Atam, who will lead the first part of the program with the closing prayer. Please stay for the food.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ananda, Nepi Sangdo, Papa Hen, Kuro, Jinu Den Bai, Digani, Dicingma, Kuro, to the pit, to the road of Zuza, Nam Milk. a cheng tai tai bu pu som lo chong chen pa le khon pi lo chong ku lo na ma lo bong chi ba si ku ngo jing ten ba le ku lo khu na ma cha khen tu lo o sa sa le a tu da ko tong tu da ko sa sing pin ma ba ku lo tong chi pi na lo bu ba o kaya khonga bingen khonga phichi lo mu ba ya yam ya su tong le kha Jesus Christ na ma ne su tong sin ka an na mai pa pa ya the
Amen. So we want to be some talking about a shit. Now I try to imprint about a shit. Oh, now I'm not tomorrow. Nile sa lo sa mo kare. Alo achieve Jesus nya ni about a shit.
Hello. Boleh, sore boleh. Beda.
这是 hello hello， 这是我。
Rapi mak.
Gracias.